So, Barack Obama, right? He's an iPet goat too, as the devil, right? Like, I mean, uh, obviously not the devil, but it shows Satan right in the beginning puppeteering George Bush, and then George Bush turns into Barack Obama, right? So it's indicating that Satan is in control of both of them. They're just puppets, right? I've showed lots of videos on uh, George W. Bush, like he's not a human being and he's not a reptilian either. I don't really understand what he is, because I seen him shapeshift in a split second to a skull, like just a black skull, in place of where his head was, right? So it's literally like a meat puppet, and I'm not sure how that works, but I think Obama's different though, like how George Bush could change into multiple different faces like in a split second, and it looks like it's physically happening. Barack Obama is like a shadow. Like, I can't really describe it. It's like he's not physically there ever. If you see any faraway shot of him and he holds his hand up, his hands are see-through. Okay? There's lots of shots of him walking, and half of his face just goes missing. You know? And another thing, too, is I've had videos where Barack Obama walks in front of another non-human, and that non-human that he gets close to, the shape-shifting becomes very noticeable. Like, it's like he gets near them and it causes them to like spaz out of their human form. I seen that in a video where he was congratulating an NBA team. I don't remember when this happened, but all the players on the team were shape-shifting like crazy, like crazy long vampire teeth and stuff like that, bugged out eyes. Anyway, so like he's a major player, right? Like I've been saying, he's the first and the fourth horseman, right? Like I've even made a video showing that he picked the second and third horseman as well, right? Like he chose Donald Trump to be president, right? During it was one of the banquets they do, like it's like everybody's dressed up in tuxedos, and they're all drinking, and they have like a comedian come up for like a half hour, right? Well, this one, it was Barack Obama was the comedian, even though it was his thing. But anyway, he was picking on Donald Trump, right? And he was saying, this is what the White House is going to look like if you ran the show, right? And he was making fun of him, on the show The Apprentice that he had, right? So I'm thinking that was the moment that he chose him, right? And it was like in code. They all speak in code with each other, so they understand what they're saying, even though we don't. And then I seen in the same video, okay, I made, I think it's entitled the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Anyway, it shows him picking Joe Biden as well, right? So I'm just saying, like, this is him. He just produced a movie. He just performed the scene of I Pet Goat 2, okay, with the woman with the pink collar right behind him in real life. So something's about to go down, for sure. For sure, something's about to go down. Don't get me wrong, like, I don't believe that the fourth horseman, Barack Obama, is the Antichrist. I don't believe that. I'm almost 100% positive that the Antichrist is going to look exactly like Jesus. And, well, that's the whole reason why Catholicism has made the image of Jesus, right? It says in the book, don't make graven images, right? Don't worship false idols. But there you have the Catholic Church making all these sculptures of him on the cross, dead, right? Or paintings of him, and he looks exactly like me, right? And it's just like, the whole thing is a setup so that when the false Jesus comes, the Jesus that Satan sends, we're all going to see him as Jesus, the real one, right? Because, oh look, it's Jesus. Everybody's going to know because of that, right? Anyway, so I don't think Barack Obama is the Antichrist. I just think he's the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, right? The apocalypse is the war on the saints, right? Which has been going on. If you think about it, it's been going on since Barack Obama was president the first time, right? He started attacking in the Middle East, and then Donald Trump, then Joe Biden, and now Barack Obama is going to come back. And maybe this is part of his return, right? As fourth horseman, dead, right? Because he did look different in this video too. When he's reading the book about Santa Claus, Satan Claus, whatever, like, he looks like a clone. He doesn't even look like the original Obama. I'm gonna look at it closer. Like, I just caught a glimpse of it. I noticed that, yeah, that woman is the same woman in the animated iPad Go 2, right? So either way, like, I mean, he's not Dajjal. If anything, he's the Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh Akhenaten, the one who wiped out the worship of Horus and Osiris and created the worship of Aten, right? The snake and the sun disk, right? That's his name, Akhenaten, right? Aken means giving praise to, and Aten means, well, the snake, right? Satan. So he's the Pharaoh, right? And then there's going to be a false prophet, right? And then there's going to be the Antichrist. So I don't really understand who the false prophet is, right? Somebody who's going to promote the Jesus as being Jesus, right? It's confusing, right? Because you have to incorporate, like, everything, not just the Bible, right? You also got to think about, okay, well, where's the Bible come from? Well, it comes from the Old Testament, right? And you got to incorporate that. And then it's like, well, wait a second. The Quran has the exact same thing too, and so does Egypt, right? So you got to think about all of it together. Like, all of it is talking about the same thing, right? But just differently, because it's different people giving different messages from different angels, right? And they're not all in touch with each other, so to speak. So obviously we're all going to be worshiping different things, even though it's the same thing, and, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I'm just letting you guys know, like, this is how I see it, right? Like, the Antichrist is probably me, right? Not by my own will. I don't want to be this dude at all. Like, it's going to be in my own mind, in my own thoughts, and my craziness. It's me, and I'm going to be forced to perform the miracles and everything against my will by the army of reptilians, right? Like the devils. The ones that Obama is in control of. Because when you think about it, it says that the fourth horseman shows up and hell follows with him. So that means that he has control over the things that reside in hell, or however that works. Yeah, well, you know, I'm just saying, like, everybody's waiting for Jesus to come to save them, but the Jesus that does come is not Jesus, right? At least that's my interpretation.